Hi everyone, welcome to this short video on reflections. So in a previous introduction video on the YouTube page, I talked about how I wanted to share some of the reflections that I have in the conversations that I have with people when I meet them on the journey, when I'm out in the camper van, which is amazing. Some of the clients or the journals that I read. So one of the things that has come up recently is around cycles. So sometimes what can happen when people are going through either really big life experiences like birth, death, marriage, or transitions when they're moving from one job to another or ending one relationship and entering into another, is it can bring about all sorts of different feelings. Different emotions such as joy, anticipation, anxiety, excitement. One of the key areas of work that I did years ago was working with young people when they were transitioning from primary school to secondary school, so people who have a little bit more of a vulnerability sometimes to low mood, anxiety, or depression can find those transitions particularly more challenging. So what's really important to think about is how do you view the change and transition that you're going through. What tools have you used in the past when you've gone through similar stages in life? And then how can you record and track your current experience so that when transitions and changes and cycles come up in the future, you're able to navigate those with more confidence and a sense of self-assuredness that you can get through those. Sometimes the transitions and changes go through different amounts of time that you're involved in doing that, such as when people are planning a wedding, it can be a year in advance or sometimes 6 months down the line, and there's a whole load of actual tasks to get on and deal with. So in terms of cycles, it's important to understand the kind of things that can influence us. We have our internal world, but in existential philosophy, we also consider the external world that we're a part of. So, what is it that's going on around us? It can be the astrological changes, it can be the things that we listen to on the news, the weather patterns, or that we're moving out of one season into the next. So there's lots of different things that influence our ability to sort of manage stress and feel good feelings like joy, excitement, and happiness. So, depending on your own personal psychology and your own moods and ways of viewing the world, will really affect how you move through those different time points in your life. So, what can happen to people who maybe have experienced a lot of anxiety and depression in their life? They can come up with they can start to feel happiness and experience the fun of being with friends, time with family, and even, experience aspects of work that they enjoy. But the difficulty is for some people is that they're waiting for the shoe to drop, they're waiting for things to go wrong. And so it's the part of that mindset that can really heavily influence and give unnecessary anguish to people who ordinarily could move through that transition much better. So one of the things that can really help people is to start to keep a journal, start to put the date and what's going on for you and how you rate your current experience. You could say every morning is how you rate between 0 and 10, how satisfied, how happy, how excited, or how good you feel. And if you rate that, of course, it's a subjective experience, and it's important to understand why you've rated it in that way, because over time we can start to see the kind of things that are going on that influence our feelings of stress, whether we feel stuck, and whether we can even get paralyzed in indecision and struggling to find way forwards. So, of course, if we get to a particular state at times and we've had that for a number of weeks, it's often useful, or even a number of days, to rally the friends around that maybe have the skills or capacity to see things in a different way than you can. Sometimes those transitions go really well and people have a much better experience than anticipated. And this is one of the aspects with mindset and why working on the mindset is so crucial. But, mind, body, and spirit are so intrinsically interlinked. Sometimes it's hard to ascertain whether or not what we're thinking and feeling is a result of either past experiences that overshadow us to some degree, or whether or not there are some things right now that we need to be concerned about and take into account. So it's important to have a toolbox that helps us do that, to be able to learn how to breathe properly, how to do, say, like 7-11 breathing, practice mindfulness techniques, even go to classes like Pilates and yoga that slow everything down. Because if we go into a stress state, we are then in an overactive, our mind is overactive period. We can even go into stages of crises, and then it's difficult to see the wood for the trees. So it's really important that you start to log how you're experiencing any of these shifts and changes, and also to recognize where you've gone through them before in your life. So it may have been that you found transition, say, from primary to secondary school, challenging and difficult, and had experiences that either were much better than anticipated, or you've gone through some major work experiences, like stress or bullying from colleagues or family members and situations that you've been in. So in terms of cycles, one of the things that often we're not aware of is when we're going through a tough time, a challenging time, is what resources we're accessing to enable us to get through that. So have we got the right kind of support around us? The people who know us well that can help us draw from our strengths when we have a limited sort of view on who we are in that moment and what we're doing. Sometimes it helps to talk to a therapist or a coach. It really depends on what's going on for you. And then also, like I said, to recognize where you've done it before, because where you've done it before is where you can draw from your own resources, resilience, and strength. Also, it's really important to sort of consider things like, have you got some limited beliefs or negative thinking about what you expect to happen? So people who go into anxiety moments can catastrophize about what they believe is going to happen that actually might never happen in reality. And often anxiety is a fear of the unknown or a fear of what we imagine next. And we can do it from a fear-based anxiety-based standpoint. Sometimes we need a little bit of help to help us learn the tools to shift out of that mindset to move us into a more relaxed-based mindset so that we can start to really move through our lives with more confidence and self-esteem. So cycles are really important. Often when we get into the winter months, we don't realize that actually spending more time at home in the warmth and spending time with people that are close to us, or even having time out to reflect and have a look at what's gone well that year and what we'd like to do more the next year can be a really important time. The springtime is usually when, if we go into Aries energy, it's fire. We feel fire in our system. We start to get motivated to get out and do more. We want to see more friends, make new friends, go to meetup groups, or even start to put some things in place and take some action. As the summer months occur, it can be that we're building on whatever we started to build or come into fruition in the spring months. And as we head towards the autumn, hopefully we're starting to really see an impact from the changes that we've made. And of course, having a child, getting married, um, all sorts of different things that we go through throughout the year isn't necessarily designated to a particular month or time or ways of doing it. So it's really important that you develop your own self-awareness and understand what your own strengths are and areas of weakness and how you can build on those and where to capitalize on your own confidences. Because some people can be really confident, say, in the workplace with particular roles that they've got, but may struggle in aspects of parenting or in their relationships or working out to how to support older family members. So cycles occur all the time, and we don't always realize that that's the case. So just consider what cycle you might be in at the moment, how you're perceiving that, and what kind of tools can help you. Certainly bringing down stress is crucial. So we need to do some 7-11 breathing. We need to practice some mindfulness. And if we can make some time out, 5 minutes every day, every morning to just get ourselves centered, start to draw from the friendships that we've got around us that can support us, or even go online and see what support services are out there. But remember, cycles are a natural part of our evolution as human beings, and that we'll go through them many times in our lives. So have a look at the ones that went well, the ones that maybe you expected to be more difficult than they were. the changes that you made that actually were much more exciting and more came into fruition as a result of doing that. So I hope you've liked this short video. Hopefully it's given you some food for thought. Check out my website or the podcast on my YouTube page to find out more in depth about any of the topics that I'm talking about today.